All right. Well, Julian, if you can hear me from Foo's computer, get back in here, you fucking scrub. We ain't done with you yet. All right. Uh, so we like to start this off with just general. We start off by asking, like, hey, what do you want people who play this character or would be interested in playing this character to know? Right. So for the potential Haehyun players out there who are like, maybe you could aim it towards like basic things, just trying to help new players get ahead of themselves a little bit. Or maybe if there's some specific things that you want to talk about that you like doing, like more advanced stuff, feel free to go into that too. But at a basic level, we're just talking like, hey, what are some tips you got for people playing as Haehyun?
Well, like as this character, you have some like your far slash is like really long range and like slow recovery, so that's not really the button you want to be poking people with. Like standing K is the much better button. Jump cancelable, still quick. You can air dash. You can follow up from it. You can cancel late on Koom's attack. So like whenever you throw something out with this character, like you can kind of like cancel the whiff of it, like the whiffing recovery. And so like that's kind of how like the chains work, because you can't like normally Gatling things directly from each other. So like I hit 2K during that time you saw on the input over there, but it's like kind of like during the recovery of the 2K where you like actually chain it, and so like that's how the characters work, or like this kind of thing. For
out of curiosity, was
late,
the like
so you can whiff.
Yeah, was the delayed Gatling stuff something that drew you to the character initially, or was it something that you thought of as whack? Yeah.
I just, no ties to it. It was just the kind of thing that was about the character. Like the character was new. I remember seeing this character drop like I think it was Combo Breaker weekends, and just seeing what the character can do and being like, well, this character's kind of weird. I remember playing some like long set against like I was playing against Kenji for a while and did a Fiesta Mint, and we're kind of like figuring it out and seeing what's going on, and that was a lot of fun. Just kind of like learning the character and just seeing that you have like this move, that thing just like shits damage, or like any character who can like call out a specific option for your entire life as much as possible.
Yep.
That goes across genres,
Yeah, you want to hit me with a Shinken loop real quick, just so people can see what it does to a poor little ship? Oh my god.
Yeah, and that's like me cutting it slightly short. You can actually do a little better than that if you do like the full combo. You can get 4 if you time it perfectly, or you can go into like the Shishin combos, which on chip is possible to do. But I'm not the best at doing that input. Chip is one of the easier characters to do it too.
And so one thing I've
right there, but it's not critical to go for.
I'm curious. Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Like one thing I've noticed is because we have a couple like baby Haehyuns in our local scene, right? And one thing I've noticed is that Shinken loops in particular, like longer combos in general, but especially the Shinken loops, are one of the things that like it takes a little while for them to feel comfortable like integrating into their game. Do you have any, I mean, since you mentioned that you have a hard time with input, like do you have any tips on how to practice it, or like when you think it's the right time to start learning it?
Well, when you start like missing out on damage that you could otherwise get, like you could just do this combo. Like you can, sorry, that's
all good.
We're not starting from there, but you can just do like a standard basic jump in combo like that. And you still get the knockdown, you still get the Oki. Still go into this kind of stuff and hit him with whatever you need to. So like you can still get the situation even if you don't do the Shinken combo.
Yeah.
So like if you're landing that every single time on your opponent, and then it's you want to get some more damage in, then at that point you should bother learning it. But if you don't feel like you're ever going into that juggle situation a lot, like you don't have to really worry about getting the timing down. It's just mostly a timing thing of how you do it. I just do it by how long it takes, like internally in my head. Like I just kind of like feel it out like a rhythm. Because like it's screen dependent and like where you actually can hit them. So if it's like over here, it's gonna be
it's screen space dependent because you're using that wall bounce, right? Got it.
Yeah, so if it's like right there, for example, if I were in this particular part of the screen, I might actually go for a Shishin Ken loop just because it's a little easier, but I still messed it up right there because it's still a little crazy. This is I haven't practiced, I haven't warmed up yet. I'd go and practice this a little bit before going into a tournament for some Shishin Ken loops, but going cold like now, it's a little tricky, and I was never the best at doing it anyway. So if you just like do 1, 2, like you can just cut it at 2 and be fine. Like 200 damage and knockdown setup is good enough for what you need to do for now. And then if you get like a better starter, you can go for like a 3. Like if you land a counter hit Hayabusa on like a wider character that you can get a 2H off of, 5P is definitely just gonna smack me right out of that.
Okay,
But,
what should I? Let's see. What's maybe?
Yeah, just jump.
Dust will probably.
Yeah, let's do 5D. So
Ooh.
not from that range, but like
Yeah.
from a little like.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and from there it even hit behind.
Yeah.
Because that was a little bit like weird on the routing.
Mhm.
But against characters who have like a wide hitbox, you can get the 2H confirm after that. Characters like Chip, Slayer, Sin. No, usually like the wider male characters.
I like the way you frame like figuring out when to work on this stuff, right? Because I feel like people will see combos, like big combos, and go, "Oh, I want to learn how to do that," and then they don't know how to get the opening to the combo, and so they spend the whole round chasing the opening to the combo because they just want to get there, right? And so the way you describe it as, "Oh, well, you should work on the starter, right? Work on landing the starter, hit a more basic combo, and then once you're getting that every time, that's when it's time to move up." That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, because once you're leaving damage on the table, that's when it sucks. And then, but you're still getting the situation up till before then, and that's when you need to learn how to do the better combos. So like when I got annoyed of just like hitting in this position and not really getting something, I grind a little bit of shade and loops. I have to time it a little bit different in a position like that, but you get so much more damage in situations like that, especially on a character who like can give you a lot of trouble, or wider characters. It just really gives you a lot of meter, a lot of extra damage. And like speaking of meter, that's something with this character is like meter management is really key, just because how good your supers are. Like you got some of the best supers in the game on this character. She's got like this, which is gonna clap you if you aren't blocking after that flash. And you got my favorite super in fighting games, the Celestial Tuning Ball. The bane of all kinds of stuff. And another nice thing about the supers is normally, and kind of like pretty integral to like how I normally play in general, if you do something like this, and then you do some combo, you can see how your tension gauge is like cut right there.
Yeah.
But if you did something that would like do this into a confirm, let me not do that.
It's the curse of the live demo. Trust me, everyone has gotten known by it. Yeah.
You can see how much meter I'm getting on each of those follow-up hits, because I'm not cutting my tension pulse. And whenever you IB something, you're gaining your tension pulse a little bit higher and higher. And especially for something like this, if I just throw this out and I just advance forward, my tension pulse is like almost maxed out.
Yeah, it's still pretty.
Move so fast with just like a quick dash over there, or even just moving down forward over here. Can increase my meter a little bit. So just like simply getting this out, even if I'm just like jumping over somebody, if I like run at them, like I have so much meter built up and it doesn't cut it all afterwards, so I get a way to like get through in the screen, put you on the defensive, and keep my meter gain at the maximum.
Yeah, you get some real nice cashback fucking rewards there on that shit.
Yeah, it's definitely cashback. It's a good way to put it. Put him to a string where I do this a couple times, and plus I go to another string that's 25 meter again already after like a full tension super ball going in.
You actually mentioned something, the IB and how that boosts your tension pulse even further. You are hands down the most consistent IBer I have seen, at least in the West Coast, possibly from everyone I've played in North America. Did that come specifically from optimizing for Haehyun and Guilty Gear, or were you already playing other games where you had to IB a lot of shit?
It was definitely the latter. It was just other games had to IB a lot of shit. I'm playing Julian a lot as like my main training partner for a while, and him playing puppet characters with these canned block strings that are the same shit every time. And I just like got sick of having to hold certain things. So I'm just like, if you're gonna do this every time, I'm gonna get as much reward as I can possible. So I learned how to instant block an entire Persona 4 Ken like block string.
Holy fuck.
Or Akihiko block string, just so I can like gain that extra bit of meter you can get out, especially when you're playing kanji and a character like that. You just need like every bit for those dead angles and stuff. I played Tager and BlazBlue, you getting that meter for that 720. It was just something that was important in all the characters that I played across games, and I just kind of got like used to just always going for it, and I don't even really think about it now. I just kind of like do it. Sometimes I do it too often, and people like catch me with certain setups just because I'll IB it so consistently.
Sure, yeah.
And I'll get like thrown a little bit more often, but like, if I'm trying to be cognizant of that and just do the right type of blocking, or whether it be like FDing or not, then I can clean that up. But it is definitely a habit. But it's a nice habit. If I beat some random pressure string, you'll do like, I don't know, go and run up and do some pressure string on me. I'll just try to randomly like throw the times where I try to defend.
Mm-hmm.
So you can see like where I'm actually trying to attempt the IB strings.
Yeah.
Yeah, right there. So, like, and I try to like max certain times during like, you know, when you're hitting.
Yeah.
You can kind of see like where it's coming out.
Yeah,
so like
yeah,
when I
there
block
you
the sprint
go.
one, then you can see afterwards like what's kind of coming.
Yeah, and especially once the attacks start getting a little bit further away, right? Like once I'm in far slash into heavy slash. Yeah, that's where you're really soaking that shit up. And as a chip player, I'm like, once I see people IBing anything into a Rekka, I'm like, oh, I need to stop. I am playing with fire and I'm about to get burned.
Something in this matchup, if you just do if you just do Resho afterwards, like second hit, like at any distance, that's a guaranteed punish.
Yeah, I noticed that. I think it was
like,
2 Rev Tuesdays ago because you kept on blowing me up with that shit.
Yeah, don't even have to IB it.
Yeah. Oh. Ah!
You can just mash on that.
Yeah. I will say, if there's one thing that would get me to mess around with Haehyun more, it's 6H. It's
I love
so
this
satisfying.
One of my favorite things is also just like this, just to like get in and throw somebody. You're at that like just tiny little bit of range that you don't want to cover.
Yeah.
And like this will catch somebody hitting a button. It's if you go to round start, it's like an extremely high risk, high reward round start thing. It's not really something I advise doing a lot. It's like you really got to call them out, but it's more of like a deterrent for some of your other round start options that are really good but lose to the options that 6H beats. And you want like a little bit higher power of it, and then you go like, okay, well, you're gonna start contesting that. Well, then I need to start throwing in 6H because it just hit round start and like mash 5H or something. I don't know.
Okay.
You can see what will happen.
Oop.
Or yeah, I wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So after this, you could actually get a combo on a lot of characters.
Yep.
Yeah, you just.
There you go. Oh, shit.
This follow-up right here.
Yep.
If that hits you and you follow up, it will stun 55 stun characters.
Oh, damn.
So it's like against characters with that low stun, getting hit by that round start, if they have no burst, and then they take the follow-up hit is like instant game over. So it's really punishing for your opponent if they try to do something like that. It also catches people up backing, which is handy as well. I usually do it when I think people are gonna be overly scared one way or another.
Yeah. No, I feel like I've seen, I mean, if I just hop into a random lobby and find some Haehyun I've never seen before, I'll see them open with round start 6H like maybe 30 to 40% of the time. But if against you, I've noticed it's like you will represent it maybe once in a tournament 1st to 2 or 1st to 3. Right. But that's enough to create that fear, you know? And it's
I'm
like,
willing to do it.
And it's like, okay, like you said, it'll catch a lot of buttons for a big ass reward, right? As Chip, I probably don't want to be hanging out here at round start, so I'm inclined to bail. But if 6H beats that too, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like just round start and just sit here and be like, God, I hope he does 6H, because otherwise I'm gonna feel like an idiot.
A really common Chip Coom round start option is 2S because it beats that. It beats almost all of my good options. So like 90% of the time, honestly, when I fight Chip, I just round start 2P because it's so low committal, so low risk. And if you do round start 2S, my hitbox will actually beat 2S at that exact interaction. And then I can special cancel that into like a ball and actually get real round start advantage after just doing a super safe 2P for you during your safest option.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, round start 2S to me is like Chip's comfort option, right? Because if it counter hits, I get the stagger. If it doesn't, like if I get a regular hit, that's cool. If it's blocked, I can still like cancel into whatever and do whatever I want to do. But the moment people start threatening that, even if it's something as small as like a 2P, I'm like, I start worrying a little bit. So that's fucking sick. Actually, there was something I wanted to ask you about because I saw some real clutch throws, and I tend to think of you as a grappler player, right?
Oh yeah.
Do you think of Haehyun as a grappler?
I try to enforce my will of playing grappler in every genre and fighting game onto Haehyun more so. But no, Haehyun's not really a grappler.
Because
But she's got
I noticed
a
you
good
making
nice
really good
range.
use of the throw.
Well, look at this particular situation. See how when you block that, you get, like, if you block this normally, see I get pushed away from me.
Yeah.
But in this situation, when you block it, you get pushed towards me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm tick throwing you, vacuuming towards me while I'm trying to step into your throw range at the very end. So for certain characters with a low throw range, just simply blocking that is pretty tricky.
Ah. What happens if I FD this and I push forward even more?
Yes.
Damn, that's fucked up. So I need the IB and then, okay, yeah.
Yeah, it depends on the situation. Then I can do it faster. It's pretty, if someone hasn't like dealt with this a lot before, it can be tricky because if they have like a low throw range, they have to either tech the throw or like perfectly backdash out of it.
Right. Ugh. And then if you throw me, you just put me in a situation where you can do it again and again, right? Like,
yeah.
There's nothing stopping you. Oh my god. Oh, I tried to DP out of that. Oh, okay, and then I get cloud. Got it.
Yeah, that was just OS off the throw.
Right. Yeah.
Sweet. Then like close slash on here is +4.
Fuck.
That was me just like doing it too early, and then at that case I'm just +4 and get pressure, so it's like okay, whatever.
Woo.
Like throwing this is tricky. And then sometimes I can just 2K right there when I think if you're gonna try to throw it. If you're not like perfect time on your throw, I can catch a lot of people. Or if they're trying to like backdash a little bit too early and the block's done, the 2K will catch them, and then I get like full combo 2 HS pickup.
I see. Wow. Oh, we got a question from chat.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me look at chat if there's any.
It's mostly just appreciation for Haehyun, but Theos Mio is asking if you FD the ball to get pulled closer, can you throw Haehyun while you're still in throw protection? So this is you throw me, and then ball Oki.
Yep, me over here.
No, it looks like it's just the tech.
Yeah.
Oh, I tried to throw there.
Was good. I may have done it like a frame too early in that case. Yeah. Yes, I think it just techs.
Yeah, it looks like it's probably a tech if both players do it at the exact same frame or thereabouts.
Yeah, and you can always tech this, but it's tricky. It's only a 2-frame window, so. Putting some people through that kind of like I'm gonna make you tech this and see if you can tech it kind of thing is could be nasty.
I mean, look, if I wanted to be teching throws intentionally, I would go back to Street Fighter V or Tekken or whatever. Like the fact that I ran into this when I had Hype for Sliced Bread on the stream, and he's just saying, "Oh yeah, you gotta tech this throw." I'm like, I have a 2-frame window. You're asking me to tech in a 2-frame window? Fuck out of here, right? That's not the game I'm trying to play. And so whenever someone puts me in a situation where I have to be there, I'm mostly just like, oh man, go back to Street Fighter.
Usually a lot of people there, if they're really not trying, they could like mash on a DP, but then if I 2K a little early on that, that'll catch them in that input. Unless they're like Leo or something.
Yeah, or
we all know about that.
Or obnoxiously clean, I guess, in their inputs. Cool. Anything else? Oh, hey, what up, Crocs? Anything else come to mind in terms of like things that you want that you think other Haehyun players should be doing more of, or things that more people should know about playing as this character?
Just kind of controlling your like mid range in such a way that you're not like kind of doing this kind of thing just to burn all your meter. Managing your meter and try not to cut your attention pulse when you don't have to. Like stuff like this is necessary in certain matchups, but like against characters who can't necessarily like threaten that, just like getting something out safely and advancing, because every time you're advancing with this character, you're building meter, and the more meter you have, then the more fucked up things you can do.
That's a really good call out. I like the way you describe just kind of what you're trying to get when you're playing Haehyun neutral, right? Like, yeah, you want to get the hit, you want to stop me from jumping in or whatever, but if all you do is get that ball out and then walk behind it, you're winning, right? You got a grip of meter there. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly. So, because I'm moving forward the whole time.
Yeah.
Now my tension pulse is nearly maxed.
And even wait, does the crouch forward walk, does that move you as quickly as your standing walk?
No, it doesn't. So I get more meter in a shorter horizontal distance.
That's
so
huge.
My foot's like right here at this tile, and I walk over to you.
Yeah.
I gain that much meter advancing that much. But if I'm like over here, I get the same amount, not even getting to that distance yet.
Yeah, that is wild.
So
And with the tuner
with
with the tuner ball out, yeah, with the tuner ball out,
Yeah.
then you get to kind of hover there and build meter.
And that crossed up right there, that last little kick.
Fuck. Damn, this character's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
What is it? Do you think? Like I've seen the like, oh, I'm mid range, I'm gonna Hayabusa and then RC, right? Like I see all kinds of Haehyun players do that. What do you think it is that gets people to want to do that? Is it just that they don't feel like comfortable playing footsies out here or something?
Well, I mean, if it hits, you're gonna get this.
Right.
And that's a lot of reward for not trying to play footsies, and something that's like a threat, a magic, like that goes right there. But no, it gets blocked, then you're negative. They get more of a start, where you could really like use that screen space to either like throw out a fireball or advance a little bit, try and feel them out where they're gonna go on here. The one hit confirms aren't necessary, but they're kind of like they're nice in certain matchups, but usually you're not gonna have to deal with something like a Sin player really forcing the interactions where you have to get like one hit supers. But you know, if you want to be third strike and fancy with your hit confirms, you know, learning this is a lot of fun.
It's been cracking me up when I see people call the single hit confirm the super third strike, because what I think of when I think of third strike as the fucking boomer out here, what I think of when I think of third strike is sitting back and whiffing normals for 30 seconds to build meter, and getting tuning ball out and then down forward walking is actually pretty close to that experience.
So, speaking of this, Pat, I'm glad you mentioned that. Something actually nice in the Ram matchup is if I'm doing this,
yeah,
how much meter I build every time I Shinken. While I'm in this stance, all of Ram's sword sets will whiff me.
Oh wow!
And this kick will also destroy it at the very end. So I could actually set the ball and just do this to build meter and kind of enforce like something to start happening. So I actually do have a pretty nice meter. Like you gain a lot for doing this. Like it was cut right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and if you're covered by the tuning ball, you don't have to worry about shit. God damn.
Yeah, I can whiff them kind of a lot freer. So, you know, I'm always trying to build meter with this character.
Yeah, and that's you know, like people. I've heard people talk a lot, mostly in fucking dumbass Reddit threads, but I've heard people talk a lot about how they don't like the Guilty Gear meter system because they don't want to be disincentivized for running away, right? Like they want to play the game how they want to play the game. They don't want the meter to tell them what to do or whatever. And I'm like, I get it, but if this game didn't have the tension system, then there would be a whole lot of other broken shit. More to the point, learning how to build meter without being aggressive in this game is a major skill check, right? Like I remember the moment that I realized that if I had a decent tension pulse, 22P actually builds a little bit of meter. And so if I was on the cusp of getting 25 meter, I should do that. Just to make sure that I have, you know, a YRC on deck or something like that. And yeah, and it's different for every character because every character is going to have different options for building meter that without moving too far forward, right? So I'm glad you talked about that because I swear to God, like for all the people that I've had on this show, like I don't really get people talking about meter management too often, and it's clear that it's a major part of your game again when you're playing Haehyun.
Yeah, absolutely. Like even when I do OTG stuff, like in this situation, if I do this, like I build a lot of meter in that situation against characters, so I don't really care to challenge on Oki in that situation. I'd rather have the meter and a little bit of extra OTG damage. I'll just go for that. Because like, I'm sure we can get into this pretty soon, but like common things to do against Haehyun, some characters can 6P on wake up, which is really effective. And if I get like a weird like chip, if I get like a knockdown like this, like in there, it's not exactly real on him. So I might just, if I'm really close to like a meter cutoff point for like 75 or like 50 or something, I might go
just cash in, because the Oki's not worth that much anyway, right?
Exactly. And if it's really low HP, like this kind of situation, I can go for something like this, which is just like nasty.
I'm not trying to 6P into the blue balls, trust me. God damn.
So I like to get all kinds of lots of meter. 2P builds it a lot.
Yeah.
OTG hits like 5 times for some reason.
Yeah, and you're already real close. You can see those chevrons pulsing. You're about to get 25. Goddamn. Well, that gives us a nice segue then, I guess. If now you have equipped the Haehyun players of the world to be a little bit more dangerous and a little bit more thoughtful in their neutral and their meter management. Actually, before I move on to the next thing, I just want to mention, like, for those of y'all who are taking notes out there, Joy, I see you in chat. Like, Cav, I think, is out there too. One of the really important things about learning this like meter building and meter management tips is, like, when you're in neutral, you are often asking yourself, what the fuck should I be doing? Right? And the most obvious answer, the one that I often furnish for new players, is get in that ass, right? But the thing is, if you are always trying to get in that ass, then you are incredibly predictable, right? The great thing about learning how to build meter without committing yourself offensively is that then, if I am waiting to see what you're doing, right, I cannot wait, because you are getting an advantage that I cannot get as effectively, right? If Fu and I are in this position, let's say, I'll just go ahead and dump my meter real quick. If we're in this position, and let's say, yeah, if you want to dump some meter real quick too. Yeah, there we go. Like, if we're out here, and I'm trying to think about how to get in, and Fu's not thinking about moving forward. Fu's just thinking about how to build meter. That means the onus is on me to move in, right? And he knows this, and I know this, and so all he has to do is keep on doing this and look for the anti-air or look for the poke or whatever, right? This is the power of being able to build meter effectively without committing yourself, right? It's much harder to do in Guilty Gear than it is in other games, but if you can figure out how to do it, it serves the same forcing function as Jam getting like a full screen away and then charging, right? Or Elfelt pulling Pineberry or whatever. It is just by chilling out, Fu is able to get an advantage that forces me to chase. Because if I don't chase, well, his meter advantage is just going to get bigger and bigger. And Chip's tools for building meter are not as good as Haehyun's, right? Like, even if the tension pulse is super tanked, my options are usually like, I can walk forward and I can build some meter. More often what you might see is like Chips running and jumping and doing this over and over and over, right? So you can see that meter starting to build, especially while I'm running at him. But look at the difference in meter gain. He's gained twice as much meter as I have. He has enough for a super.
You can see that go up.
Yeah. And like he was saying earlier, because like the stuff like the down forward walk actually don't move him forward as quickly. Like, look at. Okay, so I'm at half screen. If you just back up a little bit, if Chip runs at you, I built maybe 10%, right? Because I cleared the screen so quickly. If you see me walk, okay, cool. Then I start to build maybe a little bit more, right? But realistically, I'm getting into the danger zone as soon as I'm here. So I don't get that much space to build meter. But if Fu gets the tuning ball out and just does the down forward walk, he's gaining meter, he's closing the distance, but he's not committing to anything, and I have to do something to respond. It's incredibly powerful. So thank you for helping illustrate this stuff, because this is an aspect of Guilty Gear that honestly, like, again, if we were playing CVS 2 or Third Strike, meter management would be like one of the first things that I talk about, because whiffing normals to build meter is a huge part of those games. But for these games, for games like Gear, it tends to be a little bit more nuanced. It's more character specific. It's stuff that comes up a little bit later. So, damn, that's some good advice, man.
I mean, it's applicable all levels of play too, because like you don't have to be like, you can be a beginner or an expert, and you're still gonna have meter is gonna be useful.
Yeah.
You can just like hit a button to RC or just mash on a super, and you might have it or you don't. Like getting that extra bit of meter might be the difference.
Yeah. All right. So if that was the advice for Haehyun players, now how about the rest of the world? Everyone who's trying to deal with this pain in the ass, cheap ass piece of shit character. What do we do? Or you know, maybe the better way to frame it is like, what do people let you get away with?
Okay, so the thing we'll go over that I mentioned a little bit earlier is certain characters can 6P against the tuning ball, and you can low profile against it. Not every character has this, but like some really good examples are like Chip and Dizzy, Eno as well. But like if I do this,
Oh, I fucked it.
no, that was a little bit. It made a little bit worse Oki.
Yeah.
So if I do like something from, all right, let me do another bad Oki.
Ah, you're exposing my shitty wake up 6Ps. Here, just,
okay.
if you just put a tuning ball out first, just so we can show the interaction. Yeah, you see that?
Yeah. Here, I'll make it go fast. You can just run through it.
All right. Yeah. So that is the interaction, right? Because Chip 6P is knees and below, and he's a short guy, or he's got a short. Really, it's just a short base. So he can just blow through the tuning ball with the 6Ps, and it does work on frame 1. So if there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So like stuff like that, if the range isn't like ideal, you can actually get it. So that's why I'll do Oki like this.
Yeah.
And I'll wait a little bit just so it's a little like I get to block if you actually get it in that situation where everyone's getting hit.
Yeah, you kind of get to hit
like,
confirm that a little bit, right?
A little bit. And against players who are like really consistent at doing that, then I'll actually have to start spending meter on Oki if I'm in that situation to get it. Because then I'll have to start doing something like this.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and then that will enforce me being able to effectively pressure you.
Right. And yeah, with that on deck, it's like you're doing the wire C at about the same time that I'm getting up, right? So it's not like I'm waiting to see what happens. It's wake up swinging 6P on this. That's the hard read. And
or I'll just stick to blue tuning ball, and then covers that.
Right.
Then I don't get the red tuning ball, which is way better.
Gotcha.
Then you've already accomplished that by like just representing the 6P option. Then you don't have to take a strong Oki.
Yeah. I just want to drill in on something real quick there though, which is like because people will see, oh, you can wake up 6P, but you can beat it, so maybe it's not a good option, right? No, that's not what's going on at all. You are testing me to see if I'm doing this option, and then if I do it, that means that a different part of your decision tree is opened up, right? You're like, cool, now that I know he's willing to wake up 6P, I'm going to do the wire C 2K launch, whatever, right? And that's the game we're playing, right? When you hear us talking about rotating options, the existence of wake up 6P or the existence of countermeasures does not invalidate the option. It just means we both understand the game we're playing, right? Like, I'm sure when you enter Rev Tuesdays or whatever, or are we going to see you at Frosty's? Are you still going?
I didn't cancel the room yet,
Gotcha.
but it's not set in stone.
Yeah. I trust me, no judgment one way or the other. A whole bunch of the West Coast, actually a whole bunch of everyone is canceled. So trust me, I get it. But if you're in your earlier bracket rounds, I would expect you'd probably be testing to see, hey, does this player know that their wake up 6P works here, right? And then
against Dizzy in particular, that character has the best 6P at dealing with Coombs, Ball, Oki in the entire game. If you play Dizzy, you don't have to take a lot of the Oki that Coomb can do to most other characters. So I'll still test him though. There's been strong Dizzy players who never did it to me once, and I was just like, did you know you could do this afterwards? And they're like, oh no, I didn't. And I'm just like, well, so I told you after bracket.
That's I mean, both Dizzy and Haehyun are pretty rare matches, so it doesn't surprise me that either side of the equation might not know that one.
No, okay. It doesn't either. You still test them first.
All right, dope. Any other tips for dealing with Haehyun?
Yeah, there's the you can kind of OS this 5H. So because when you're standing up, so if you crouch right there, just crouching right there, that first part doesn't hit you.
Yeah.
And then if you're standing right there, that first part does make you block. So you can block in a way where you go like 4-1-4. So you go hit back initially, then down back afterwards, then back after. So it's a little easier to block situations like this.
Yeah.
So then things like this aren't quite as see, that's not actually really a real mix-up at that range and timing, because as you saw right there, Pat was able to kind of OS the block timing,
right?
And where that down blocked for the 6K hit, and is able to stand block where this started off. Also, just a general tip as well, when you're blocking this, you probably want to stand block that initial block on that fireball, because if you crouch block that initial hit...
Oops, sorry.
Let me actually throw you. if I was a little bit further away right there, a little bit further spaced,
Yeah.
then you could definitely get thrown.
Yeah. Okay.
Like in that situation.
Yeah.
But if you stand block on like a ball hit, you can then react to that first initial hit if you're getting blocked. So it's a little bit better to stand block the initial ball hit so you're not stuck in the crouching state, which makes it a little bit easier for you to get hit with an overhead.
Yeah. So I think most people watching this are probably roughly familiar with the concept of a fuzzy block, but basically we'll go over it real quick for folks who are kind of newer to this. The idea is that in most situations when you have to deal with a high-low, the high and the low are probably not going to come at the same frame, right? So you can, if you learn what the situation is, you can input the stand block for the time window in which you would get hit high, and then switch to the crouch block for the time window that you get hit low, and cover both cases with the same input, right? There's an additional wrinkle to this. So that was the 414 that Fu was talking about. But there's an additional wrinkle to this, which is that Haehyun's overhead, that first hit actually hits mid, right? If I'm super close. So I can crouch block that. And then you can actually use the time in which you see you're in the hit stop, right, of that first hit. You can use that to react to what you see as the second hit coming high, right? Yeah. And that's the range sensitivity that he's talking about, because if I'm out here, right, that's right, then only the second hit lands, and it's actually pretty fast because I don't have to wait for the hit stop from that first hit to go through. Because trust me, I know that like the baby's first playing against Haehyun set is going to be, you get knocked down, you hold this ball pressure. Haehyun's got two kicks that look exactly the same, and one hits high and one hits low, and you're like, why the fuck do I have to guess every time I like get thrown or whatever, right? And this is, yeah. Once you start learning this, then there becomes like it's a little bit more knowledge check, but this is also where the game kind of opens up a little bit as well. I don't actually know, like, what do you do to call, what is the next layer for you? Like, if you start trying to call out people on the 414, is it range specific, or is there like other options that you do?
So against players who are like particularly exceptionally good at 414ing, like there are certain players who like will literally never let me do that mix-up, even at the expense of getting hit by other mix-ups, but they are really good at that. So usually what I do to people who block constantly is I'll just throw them and then get
checks
like,
out
like that. Some people, like, I'll try them getting with something like that where they try to like
oh yeah, you do the two lows to try and catch
2K.
the stand block, right?
Yeah, I'll try to do like multiple lows in a row.
Yeah.
That Oki, by the way, was a 6P-able and like chip from that throw at this range. Like if I ever do this, like you could 6P or stop that every time.
Right.
That's not a. So I usually back throw, gets chip in that spot, or just do max 2P afterwards. But
I'm curious. I'm curious because you mentioned specifically, you were like, some people do this. Like, who in your experience is the best defense in NA Rev2? Like circa the last time you were playing this game in person, right? Probably like what Anime Ascension 2020, around there. Like, let's say pre-pandemic, who is the best defense?
Probably Deb. Hitting her with a 5H overhead at Coom is basically impossible.
Goddamn.
So I would have to throw her or do like mix up like this and that kind of stuff with shooting ball mix up. So I'd have to go for things like that, or just a lot of throws, or just like low tick throw kind of things. Getting an actual 5H on her was maybe like one time when I had like the perfect range distance, which is like an untypical setup where like the ball was behind them really far, and then you get like vacuumed into that range where you can't possibly 414 it.
Makes sense. All right. Any other tips for playing against Haehyun?
There's a lot of character specific stuff.
Sure.
You know, as mentioned, the 6P, there's the general 414ing, which is effective. Be careful where you tech in the air. Like the last thing you want to get is like reset into the situation like this.
Yeah.
It's the last thing you ever want to happen against Haehyun. So like you want to kind of late neutral tech, and that won't ever happen to you. If you're in that particular, because you have momentum from coming down, and then you'll be all right. Or if you just like kind of tech a little bit later in general, then just not teching when you're high up in the air, and
Right.
like especially when you don't have a lot of meter. Sometimes I don't usually do that just to people anymore, but if I notice somebody has like 0 meter and I launch them in the air, I will try to like reset them to see if they tech and get air unblockable.
Gotcha.
Most people don't fall for it. Sometimes I got like a black beat on somebody, but I was like, okay, you know, I'll take an extra red kick.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, as a personally concerned party, what the fuck are people supposed to do once you get the super tuning ball out?
Oh yes, the super tuning ball. So this is like the anti-foo tech rather than Coom tech.
Sure.
But yeah, this super ball is pretty nice. When it's over there, like jumping into it eliminates the mix-up. If you're a character with really high mobility, like Bedman, you can kind of just like chill at the top of the screen and not have to really worry about it. Certain characters like Zen can beak driver through it, and you'll have a lot of range if they try to advance. Certain characters, it's a lot more effective against than others. Like if you're Axel, I don't actually know what you do about it. I'm sorry, but, which is why that's my game plan against that character, like 100% of the time. But usually, if I'm trying to do something like this, I'm trying to like do some kind of mix up or like some air dash mix up at the ends, or just like jump and then pop over your head and then cross up left right, or even like throw you at the very end. All of those that I mentioned involve your feet have to be staying on the ground. So if you're in the air, then you're gonna take like a little bit more attention meter gone. Like maybe you'll have to FD some of it and like some of it's gone. But like the worst thing that's gonna happen that I'm gonna try to do is like I'm gonna try to get you to like land back on the ground that hits you with like one more mix. But if you kind of like land on top of it, or like just initially try to jump over and then avoid it, you can try to get around. The main thing when I'm doing this is I'm just trying to get in, put you in block stun, and then like keep my meter gaining. Right now, then this like happens.
Yeah. Okay. So I see. Yeah.
And then I have like this kind of going already, and then my tension pulse is still good to go. So.
Right, like and mine is tanked from FDing and all kinds of shit, or if I tried dead angle or whatever. Yeah.
But usually just trying not to take like a left, trying to take like a high-low mix-up during it. Easier said than done. It's still burning 50 meter on it, so if you can get out of it with me just burning 50 meter and you burning like not a whole lot of it, and then you're not in a terrible position, it's a net win for you if you're not in the corner.
Right.
So if you're able to ever side switch during this sequence, like, you know, I don't have meter right now, but if I do something, let's say I've set it low because I think maybe your character with like your soul and you can do Grand Viper, and a lot of times I'll like do this kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then like you could Grand Viper under that exact starter situation, but if I did something like this, if you reset it, like went down over there, then went up, that would cover characters who can like low profile.
I see.
But let's say I'm doing that type of pattern where I throw over here.
Yeah.
Then you could probably like double jump over it really quick and then like clear the side where I'm on. Gotcha. And then I've already committed to putting the ball in a certain direction for its initial like momentum. And then you can try to avoid it in a different way.
That's true. I guess for people who haven't messed around with Haehyun themselves, the ball has momentum, right? It commits. Like you're just, when you keep it out there kind of just like hanging out, it's because you're not actually inputting that much in terms of the, because it matches your forward and back, right? But when you do shit like bring it like, super far in one direction, it takes a while to bring it back into the other direction.
Yeah, so if I like advance it right there, I could stop it because I didn't hit any inputs right now.
Yeah.
I could stop a lot easier versus if I start like this, it has to break a lot more.
Right.
Like that was about, like, you know, if I go much further than that, it's gonna hit you.
And that's pretty true for like the super tuning ball as well, right? Like there's you commit to that direction. Yeah. So right now low commitment, but if you really try and like cover that gap at all, that's when I can get over it. Interesting.
And when I go down, because it's like down's complete opposite axis, then it's gonna take longer for it to go up after going down because it has to completely reverse its velocity.
Right, that makes sense. So yeah, you can kind of juke it, right? Like if I see it going in a real big direction, like up there, then I might. Well, that's why you cover it with the red tuning ball. Gotcha.
But see, if I do red tuning ball in that particular situation, you could alpha blade me right there.
Yeah.
If I went for that pattern. So just match at the very start after like. Yeah, like before that even got to hit you though. Like that.
Gotcha. And yeah, so if you tried to move the ball lower to cover the alpha blade, then I might be able to get in through the air or whatever. Yeah, that's interesting. Cool. All right.
Like I put it over there to cover the tuning or cover teleports. Just depends on the character and where their like escape patterns are. And then sometimes I'll try to put the ball where it covers the escape. Sometimes I'll put it in their direct path. And just trying to have to juke it and then predict where I'm gonna throw it and then have your escape pattern go around that.
This character is Venom with a DP. Do you feel good about that? God damn, Foo. All right.
Venom that's like shits damage.
Yep.
That's the real thing I need in my characters. So I need it to really hurt when I'm right.
Yeah, I played your plus R pot. I know how that goes, man. Cool. So this is an awesome lesson. Thank you so much for sharing this stuff. I believe I should have a list of clips that we can go through real quick if you're down.
Oh yeah, let me put the stream on. And
all right, so what I'll do is I'll send you a link to like a shared YouTube service, basically, and so you can like start and stop from there. So just give me 1 second to get it started.
Sounds good. I'm taking a sip of water.
That's what's up. Stay hydrated, y'all. Have you been jumping in on the Yu-Gi-Oh shit too?
Oh, I've been in on that for like years already. I've been playing for TCG for like over 2 years.
Gotcha.
I played it a lot when I was younger.
I mean, I always heard Yu-Gi-Oh. Someone recently described Yu-Gi-Oh to me as the Marvel of card games.
Yeah, like in the last 2-3 years, I'd say that. Before it was kind of like the HNK of card games for a while, but it's gotten past that point.
Wow. So wait, what did they do to the game to bring it from HNK, which is like, you know, HNK, for those of you who don't know, it's the Fist of the North Star fighting game. It is known for fucked up infinites that last forever, right? Marvel is a step forward in that respect, right? Marvel is a little bit more of an honorable game, though it also has lots of fucked up infinites that last forever. How did they make that shift happen?
They like have different master rules. Like there's like master rules like 1 through 5. Like 5 is the most current.
Gotcha.
And, like some of the older master rules, like Master Rule 3, there were some really nasty matchups that were determined by the coin flip. Like whoever went first was going to win it. It was basically that bad. But a lot of things have like gotten better with the metagame for that. But it's been a lot of fun. And seeing a lot of people get into it recently has been awesome for me because I've been a huge fan of it.
Seeing a lot of people get into it has been awesome for me because you get to fucking knowledge check them with all this fucking bullshit.
Oh yeah, I'm throwing down my totally awesome on them. Shouts to my Toad boys, my frog deck, Paleo Frog, Hype as Duck.
All right, I'm gonna DM you a link to this watch together room, and once you get in here, you should be able to just press play and pause to kind of just feel free to walk us through the round a little bit, and if there's anything in specific you want to highlight, like it's all you.
All right, cool. I think I'm in here.
Yeah. Oh. All right. Okay. Let me just navigate over to where we're supposed to start. I think it.
Okay.
There we go.
Backing up.
Okay.
Hey, this is you and
There's
Hirsch.
so much meter to work with.
Yeah,
Here.
and Foo pretty much just got out of the corner.
There's a couple things going on right here. I'm not sure. Like,
oh wow!
do I stop? Do the whole clip at once?
Yeah, you can stop whenever you want.
Oh,
dude.
Okay, so let's go back a bit because there's been a lot of things going on.
All right. Also, I'm gonna mute the commentary so we don't have to hear it. There we go.
Hear it. Okay, so where do I start it going from again?
It was, let's see, 239.19 or thereabouts. So yeah, I think it's this next round is the one. Hey, what up, Hirsch?
You wanna switch it back to where it was? I'll just hit pause as I go through it.
Sure.
Because that was just the clip once. I kind of want to play it all one through, and then I'll go through like
yeah, for sure.
the
So
step-by-step interaction.
I think it starts once you finish this round, basically. I want to say.
Yeah, let me go pull up that timestamp really quick.
Right. It should be 239.19 is what I've got.
Thank you.
Yeah.
239.19.
Oh my god.
Oh, right before there. Okay. We'll just watch a little bit forward on here.
Yeah, for sure.
This is a hype round 2.
Oh my. You can see that on my fucking face.
Yeah, you're going in. All right. Maybe not advance like a 40-minute. This is like a 3-hour video, so
yeah,
clicking like slightly wrong.
No, I get it. It's like, you're in a completely different part of the bracket.
Especially on like this UI where like the clicking isn't the same.
Yep.
I guess we'll like kind of go where I start with the tuning ball.
Mm-hmm.
But like right there in that situation, I like whiff just so I can kind of go for the throw. I'm just trying to gain meters. I mentioned right there, I get like a red plus, so
yeah, your meter advantage is major right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to stay out of that initial like deadly venom far S range and like advance as much as possible whenever I can, so I can not fall behind in the meter game. Because even when I'm in a situation like this, I have like 50 bars, so I can threaten a super. So right there, okay. So in that situation, we were at neutral for a while, and so I figured, okay, I'm not gonna get like caught with a stinger aim over here or run in with some kind of something tricky. So it's pretty safe to cast the ball.
Yeah.
And if Venom decides to charge up balls over there, you know, I'm okay with that because I think I'm at a better spot. If Venom does like Q5, you can grind away the ball, but I can react to that and then kind of put it above. So I set out 2 balls just because Hirsch does have like a lot of meter right here.
Yeah.
So if I do like double ball setup and he ends up like jump blocking one, falls into the other, I can cast another red ball and then try to drain as much meter as possible, staying on the offensive. So kind of cast it, see what happens. He just kind of waited over there. So the pattern I did going up, I try to like steer the ball back down towards him, and then I'm just kind of gonna go in and gain something. Try to go for an air throw over here. Doesn't work out, but gonna fall back into the ball and dex out, get some jump P's over here to carry him to the ground. I do a 5k right here, so I could like either go low and then continue pressure, or I can double jump and do some more stuff. He goes for a 2D right there, so he thought I was going to continue like pressure into something else, and 5k doesn't have a lot of hits done, so Venom's 2D is real fast, could catch me going for like a dash forward and into like a throw or a 2p, or like a dash forward close flash that would have counter hit me going for it, but jumped up, double jumps, able to react to it, and right here I just mashed on a throw because Venom's 2D is really low profile, and yeah, that didn't quite hit. So back throw over here. So I get probably my favorite mix-up you can do as Coom right here, which I don't really get. I think this is actually the first time I ever landed it, but it's something I've thought about a lot, where in this situation, like, you know, there's the normal 4-1-4, I'm going to block something, and then look out for a throw, but I don't really think either of those are going to hit Hirsch right now, so I kind of want to go like a step above. I'm trying to go like to the next level of mix-up on here. So I do the normal Iade JK into Hayabusa backwards, which is like a normal catches people, but I wanted to like go another layer above that, where I wire seed right before that was hit. Cause like I thought this was gonna get blocked on there, and then it hit. I didn't really care if it's gonna hit or not. This is more about setting up this mix-up I'm gonna do right here, where I wire seed. I did a toe tap, and then I steered in the other direction to cross over. The ball hit right as I landed, or right before I landed on the other side, and then confirmed to a knockdown. So I was just trying to get the perfect spacing and like the distance and speed on the ball where you can do that after a throw. And because Venom wakes up faster than like other characters, you have to do a little bit different setup on your ball. He's also really thin, so that setup like probably wouldn't work on Johnny, for example, because it'd be wide and 2 hits would happen on the ball. But on Venom, you could, and like an Elf and characters like that, you could actually get some kind of nastier like J2K mix up just due to how like where their hurt box is actually going to be in respect to the ball when you're kind of going above their head. So on this next section, I knock over here. I try to get greedy with the red ball pressure because I felt if that got casted, I probably would just be able to close out the game. Her scouts it out, says not going to get away with that. But right here, I just kind of wait. I thought he was going to stinger aim, charge up a little bit, but he does one, and I think if I just 5D right here, it will clear the ball, and I don't have to block the. I don't have to get put into blocks done.
Right.
Because if you do like Kuma's 5D, it's really situational, but I think it's more useful in the Venom matchup than any other matchup in the game, because just not having to get the block stun of being put in the ball, giving him that extra little bit of meter, and then it just you recover faster than you would if you blocked anyway.
Right.
And there's this interaction right here where he dashed forward as I did that, and that just caught him because that's pretty unexpected of a thing for someone to do right there.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought he was gonna throw projectiles right there, and I saw him moving slowly, so I figured he wouldn't do something very highly committal and would like kind of try to wait behind the ball for something to happen, and that would get me out of blocking the fastest and could escape. But he ran in and just got hit by it, and I was like, sweet, I'll take the tricky attack.
I just want to point out before Hirsch is saying, I think I just forgot that can happen. Yeah, I also didn't. I didn't realize that Haehyun could 5D projectiles away until you came back to Rev Tuesday and showed us multiple times. But I just want to point out, one, that was an awesome clip. Thanks for walking us through it. The thought process that you exhibit in this entire sequence is it's some real card game shit. Right, you out econned him in the beginning. Right, you had 50 meter, he barely had 20. By the time you dropped that first super tuning ball down, I think you had full meter. Right, you were at 100. So you were like, yeah, might as well spend it because
close to it.
Yeah, because you couldn't build anymore, right? Like you had already successfully out macroed him, and so it was just a matter of trading resources, right? That would inevitably force him into a bad position, right? It's a layer of strategic thinking that I don't see even really good Guilty Gear players do very often. So that's fucking awesome, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, it's always part of the fun playing this character because you can position the ball and do stuff like that and kind of play for this meter because not everyone has supers this broken.
Yeah. It's definitely it's a different lens to playing the game, but it's pretty sick. All right, was that it for her? Should I move on to the next one? I think is Bears.
Sure.
All right, we'll get this one queued up real quick. So that is all right. This is from last week, 151.
Let me get the thing up on here.
Yeah, I'll just pull it up real quick. So it's 151. Let's see, I think it's right around here. All right.
Okay.
Bike and Hater 3002.
Bike and Hater 3002. A fantastic name. It's good to see Bears again.
Right?
Bears is in particular a player very good about not letting me get away with fake Oki.
Mm-hmm.
Very cognizant of the 6P interactions, which I am very cognizant. He is cognizant of, so I do different things to Bears than I would to like say you or other players who are playing chip.
Goddamn, juking the 6P with the air Hayabusa like that was clean.
Yeah, that's one of my early checks when playing people is like, do they 6P right here, or do they like try to air throw? Do they jump up and hit something? Like what's their like initial layer 1 to trying to anti-air me in this situation?
Yeah.
And if people are 6Ping, then that's Hayabusa will blow that up really, really well. Kind of going back to that first thing with like something to not let you get away with, Kum. I just kind of like thought of it right then. Not letting them air Hayabusa in your face right there.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping up and intercepting air to air with like a jumping P is actually really strong against Kum's trying to do that, especially if like you have a 5P or something that hits like pretty high up like Eno or Sin while jumping. Like that stuff is a much better anti-air than trying to 6P an actual jump in from me.
Yeah, I always get caught going for the 6P anti-air, and it always takes like one or two counter hit jump in combos for me to remember, oh yeah, I should be checking with 5P or JP or DP or whatever the fuck, but not 6P.
6P can be kind of risky.
Yeah. It just feels so good, man. When I get the counter hit and I get to go into 6H and then I get the ground bounce and I get to do other shit after that, I'm like, why wouldn't I go for this all the time? And then I get juked by a Haehyun or a Elfelt or a Raven or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yeah, and you have a good amount of wind up on the air Hayabusa as well, so you can get that time to jump in and jumping P or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's especially in like the Sin matchup. That's something that not a lot of Sin players do too often is anti-air with jumping punch, and they opt for 6p. And jumping punch is like such a strong anti-air versus a lot of my good air options, and
Yeah.
it always makes fighting Kizzy a nightmare. He's very well versed in the matchup and knows very clean on his general anti-air game.
Yeah.
Solid fundamentals based player.
Is Kizzy's neutral scares the shit out of me, and I say this as someone who's played fighting games for a long time. His sense of composure while he's playing neutral in Guilty Gear is, I know the Shark Tank that y'all came up in, so I see where he gets it. But even then, I don't think anyone plays neutral quite like he does. It's very impressive.
No, it's super effective how Kizzy kind of blends that like new school and old school style together of being like that aggressive Shoto based character who's not like chilling back too much, but they're also not like too overly aggro. They're just aggro enough that it's hard for you to get them off you, but they always pick their spots.
Yeah. Cool.
Going back to this clip over here though, the timing was what, 51 some 51.
Let's see.
Here?
It was the one that I had for Bears. Let me just pull it up real quick. Sorry.
Oh yeah, you can.
151.04. I think it was that round one. That's what was tagged anyway. I don't know if there's a specific thing you wanted to go through in there.
I don't think there's a specific thing on that round.
Okay.
151.04.
I mean, yeah, you looked clean as hell. That you clearly, I will say, this was clearly a match played between two people who have played each other before, and both of you were living on that layer 2 and layer 3 shit, right?
Yeah, there was not a whole lot of like the initial layer 1, other than just me like mashing 2p because I'm playing Koom. That's what you do. You mash 2p.
But even that, you didn't mash it that much. You mashed it once, and you recover in time to block that round start gamma from Bears.
Yeah, so right there, I just did a quick 2p. Bears really often starts out with 2s, really safe, really good option. So I start with that in order to beat it. Doesn't do it, and I was able to jump away and whiff in time, and a jump I'm coming down, and I do initial Haehyun to check him to see which way he enters. Did 6p, it ended up not really working out right there. We just both kind of go back to neutral and comes back with something. I do a 2p afterwards right there because I beat that first hit in case Chip tries to like dash in and do something. I recognize I got the IB, so I want to like challenge a little bit right there and kind of feel him out first round, see what I'll get away with and see what I don't. Just kind of jump around here to get away. I get counter hit over here, confirms into DP. I late tech, try to see if I can throw on the way down, but it doesn't work out for me. That was a little scrambly. We both kind of thought I think a throw was going to happen, and then it didn't happen for like either of us. And I just kind of like recognized, oh, we're staring down. I hit 2p faster than he reacted, I guess, in that situation. Get a nice easy knockdown. So in that spot right there, I hold the ball a little bit forward rather than putting it behind him, because if I try to put it behind, I thought Bears is going to 6p right there, and so it wouldn't really do a whole lot. And I'd have to take a lot of time to reverse the ball's momentum. It'd probably be already ahead of me, like rushing me down. So I hold it a little bit forward over here. He just goes for a tap blitz, and I'm able to just dash forward to see if he holds it right there, but he just tapped it, and he gets out of the situation, but I get out of the corner, and he spent more meter than I did, and I gained a bit in that interaction. So, kind of feeling it out right there. I like to throw out a fireball just in case, he tries to run forward. He ran right into it over there, and if he stayed back, I can start getting my advantage to go forward. I Shinken a little bit too early over here. I thought he wasn't gonna I thought he was gonna FD in front of it and then back up and jump or something. So I tried to do Shinken to gain a little bit of meter, because you'd have to kind of wait behind and then do something. And in that time, I can just use it to build a little bit more. I just kind of jump over here just to kind of reset the screen position and also advance, gain a bit more. I just go for air Hayabusa to catch him, try to jump up and maybe air throw me, but it just goes for 6p, get the knockdown, catch him. This is one of those knockdown situations where it's not necessarily guaranteed against Chip, because you can 6p over here. So I recognize that, and I YRC over here to order to make it real.
Right.
And I go for a 2p in case he still tries to 6p. But Bears doesn't bite. He reacts and goes, "Nah, I'm not gonna mash there. You spent the meter." To 6p, it doesn't quite work out there. Just kind of playing neutral. I barely avoid this 2H right there. That was just by a thread. Get a little lucky in that sense. I try to go for the a throw after at that particular situation, but Kum's 5H just kind of privileged and catch Bears trying to go for the leaf grab reset.
What's the startup on that first hit in 5H?
What was that?
What was the startup for the first hit of 5H?
First hit of 5H. It's I don't remember that button off the top of my head because it's usually not one that comes up a lot, but it's around 10.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad. I'll look it up real quick just so. Okay, yeah, startup for the first hit is 9 and it's active for 5 frames. So yeah, you are clipping that leaf grab.
Still hits in a nice anti-air shots to characters like Faust, Milia, Haehyun.
Yep.
Mashing that 4H. But I get a counter at Hayabusa over here. I didn't confirm it. I just RC'd because I thought I was going to get blocked over there. But it's all right. Bursts out. I get a nice air throw. In that situation, I didn't have meter in order to make the red ball Oki safe, and I didn't feel like the blue ball Oki was really worth it, so I just went for OTG damage so I can get to 25 as close as possible, and catch another 6p with the Hayabusa, because I was kind of looking out for it.
Okay. All right.
I think there's another clip.
Yeah, so the third one was versus Puddles. I'll pull it up real quick.
Okay. I know there's one very small interaction against Bears. I was pretty interested. I think it was in one of the other ones.
All right. Let's see. So this would be at like about 2:08:40. So I'll navigate over there real quick.
2:08:40. Yeah, you can navigate over there for me.
Yeah. All right. This is 30, so we can just let it rock from here.
Okay. So I got sent to Puddles losers in this bracket, so I was trying to keep in mind some of the things that went poorly for me in my first game. So I guess we'll play this round first off, and then I'll go and kind of mention it.
Yeah, for sure. It was dope to see Puddles in bracket.
Yeah, I remember always seeing that name on NetPlay a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's cool to see him participate in the bracket. It's always one of those like people I'd see on NetPlay be like, "Oh yeah, watch out for them. They're gonna get you."
Yeah. The day they show up in person, man, it's just.
It was funny during that too because I really felt during that super it's not gonna kill.
Yeah. Yeah, here we go. Here's the grappler hour. Oh, and then the delayed 2K. That was clean.
Grappler hour. All right, let's going back into that round to kind of analyze it a little bit slower. Starting off. Oh, I think this is the round before. Oh wait, never mind. It's okay, never mind. Right here. So I start with a 5K. Pretty good round start against a lot of ram buttons, but Puddles was ready, went for 2K, which beats that option in particular. So he won round start. I don't want to deal with any of this ram Oki bullshit at the very start. I burst immediately to try to get burst back if I get hit again as early in the round. So when you get knocked down by Ram and she's in a good situation, like she has some of the most threatening Oki in the game. So trying to just avoid that as soon as possible. Yeah. This is a pretty easy spot to burst because she has to set sword over here and, sets the sword, I get out. I tried to go for Shinken over there, but I was a little too slow. Got counter hit, not the right angle. Just out of reach for a confirm. So at this kind of range, I'm trying to watch out for Ram trying to set, trying to hit the balls in the air, and 5P is a really strong anti-air against Ram. I just blocked right there. I probably tried to block for a little bit in 5P and was able to Buzzy block it in time, because I was thinking that interaction I was probably going to 5p, but I ended up blocking in time. The Martelli for Pelly follow-up, I definitely lost to that special when I was playing Puddles earlier in the day, so I was really trying to like be aware of that button, because I got smoked by that earlier.
Were you getting opened up because you're trying to IB, or was there just like
I IB'd the first hit, and then I would like from following Ram, and then I would just get Martelli counter hit, and then I'd get comboed afterwards. I was like, whoa, I don't really see Rams do that a lot.
Right.
And it definitely it blew me up earlier. So I was just like, all right, just kind of wait up, try to IB it, gain meter. The move's really negatives, and she's not in the great situation afterwards, even if it gets a lot of meter. Get the throw, and now it's kind of time to start doing it. Blocks accordingly for like the 4-1 forward for Kuma's mix up. Then I decided to try throwing afterwards. I noticed that Puddles had been throughout the day pretty good at blocking that, so I'm just going to say, all right, well, let's see how you do about the tick throws. And it worked once, and it worked twice. I'm like, well, let's, try this again. And going to keep trying it one more time. I just tried something a little bit tricky to try to get into their head a little bit. But the vacuum tick throw is a really effective, like, litmus test I put people through just to see, like, what they do to it. And sometimes it kind of, like, shakes people, rattles them a little bit, and gets them a little bit off their like comfortable mental game, because I got to show them that I'm willing to do things like that in order to kind of crack their defense, in order to like make them do something else so that I can actually hit you with that mix-up I want to hit you with. So I have to keep enforcing stuff like that. Gets out of it, none of that nonsense, and gets a nice cross-up situation over here into a mix-up. So at this point, I'm just watching, thinking if I'm going to get my burst or not, watching for the overhead. Get caught with empty low. And at this spot, I look at my life meter and think, I think I might actually live from this. This isn't Hellfire. Guts kind of going to kick in at a decent spot. Like for when the combo started, it's pretty... I think I'll be okay. And it comes down to probably the last hit or two. So in this spot, I just went for super, because at this point, I'm just like, if this doesn't kill and it's going for something, I need to kind of like get out as soon as possible. Don't want to get chipped over here. And I didn't think it was in range. If Ram was a little bit closer, I would have let it rock, but it was just out of range. So I immediately YRC it, 6H to dodge the hit, because if I block that, I'm going to get hit into something or chipped and then die. So have to avoid it. I just 2P really quickly. I couldn't tell if Ram was coming down with a button or not after that, so I just wanted to hit whatever the fastest thing was possible.
Yeah.
And at this point, I got out of, from what Puddles probably assumed was certain death, so I assume he's probably a little bit rattled right now, or a little bit like off the comfort zone. So I try to go for a little bit more unconventional pressure at this point, because I think I'll get away with it, because he's probably going to be respecting my stuff a little bit more, or just looking for a point to escape. So I go plus and immediately just go for another throw. The throw had been working out earlier, so I wanted to kind of like just keep representing it and say, are you going to like put the fear in the thought of the head of like, am I going to get thrown 4 times into this like into the game from losing again? So I went for a 2K to catch it right there, and then got a fortunate timing on there where I think I heard a button come out, and then it got thrown on the startup, because that vacuum kind of pushes you into my range.
Right.
So what might have happened there is like hit something a little too early, and then you get into my actual range and I throw you, because you're probably off by the throw tech by 1 frame too early, and then I threw you afterwards because you whiffed your throw attempt and got a button. And then you get thrown again. And then I just go low right there, trying to catch a throw tech.
God damn. That was a masterful sequence. It's super cool to listen to you narrate through it, because, again, all the precision and clarity of thought that you'd expect from a turn-based card game, for example, right? Like, I think this has actually been probably the best replay review we've had on the show, in large part because... your thought process is super clear, and I want everyone who's watching this to rest assured that you too can get here. It takes time, it takes practice, it takes a shit ton of knowledge, as you can tell, like matchup specific knowledge, right? You are describing not just the decisions you make, but also your understanding of Ram's of both Puddle's psychology as a player, right? The reads based off the throw, and some pretty specific information about how Ram plays and what her options are in any given situation, right? And it's like with that and with the understanding that you have, you're able to make some shit look truly magical. Food, this was an awesome review. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And to answer your question from that stream earlier,
yeah.
A little bit of good old-fashioned sour diesel and this cream of the crop.
Good shit. All right. I think I got some sour diesel around here, Lion. One of these days, all right, listen, one of these days I'm going to get you and Josh on a different stream, and we will hash out some of the finer nuances of we'll say elevated gaming, all right? Because there is some fine synergy once you get past the couch lock, once you're on the right level. But no, that was super impressive. I might re-up on that shit later. God damn. All right. That was a sick ass Rev2 review. I don't know how much time you have, but usually I open up a lobby so that you and me and whoever wants to from the stream chat can come and get some games. So if you're down to mash for a little bit,
sure.
Hell yeah.
I can mash for a bit.
Hell yeah. Then we'll go ahead and get that set up. I'll make a new lobby because this one's a training mode one. But since this is where we'll cut off the VOD, Fu, thank you again for coming through and spreading that knowledge. This will be documented and preserved so that future generations can know how to play this fucked up piece of shit character that we call Haehyun. And like, once again, as far as I'm aware, the strongest Haehyun in all of North America. So it's always a pleasure to extract some of that insight, because you have put so much time and so much effort into this character. It would be a shame if we did not make sure that some of this expertise was available so that other people could learn from it. Thank you. Our local Haehyuns are going to power up after this, and I'm going to blame your ass. But you know what? It's worth it.
Hell yeah, I like to see it. Like seeing this character being played, you know, not the most played character, and always good to see them represented.
I'll be honest,
after be on here and do this review with you, because it was fun for me too. Good to kind of share it off and spread the knowledge.
Hell yeah. Well, we wouldn't have knowledge to share if you didn't put in work for building it. So thank you for your efforts. One of the things I try to do is make sure that, like, as we are holding it down for Rev2 out here for Play Guilty Gear, there are so many people out there who have put so much time into this game, and I don't think it was ever properly appreciated in the moment, right? Like, for most of Exerd's competitive history, it was a hype-ass game that just wasn't getting the love that it deserved. And to be honest, we didn't really build up a community that was as good at, like, sharing knowledge and encouraging people as we could have. So we're out here just trying to make that right, and bringing in motherfucking killers like you to show us how it's done is part of what we do here. So thanks again. We got the lobby open. I think I sent you an invite on Steam, but I'll re-up just in case.